In today's video, we're going to talk about your tongue and your tongue health. Yep, that's a thing too. Your tongue can tell you many things about things that are going on in your body. It can tell you if you have thrush, a vitamin B deficiency, sometimes oral cancer. You can get oral cancer on your tongue. So your tongue is something that you need to look at and take care of it, as well as the rest of your mouth. There are different things you can do to keep your tongue healthy and clean. Brush it, use a tongue scraper. You could even use floss. Again, you can get creative. You just need to make sure that you clean your tongue and at least get the particles of food off, especially if you have thrush. If you're a smoker, you can also get something known as black hairy tongue. So when you stick your tongue out and you see black papilla, that might mean that you need to get in there and brush a little bit more on your tongue. So I'm going to show you today some different things you can do to clean off your tongue. So if you don't have a toothbrush, you could just use floss to scrape your tongue off. You can just get the floss back as far as you can and scrape down. And again, you don't want to gag yourself with this, but you want to just clean off some of the food particles or anything that is on your tongue. You can use a tongue scraper. Yes, there's something that is made specifically just to clean your tongue. So you're just going to take this and do the same thing that you would with the floss, get it back as far as you can and scrape forward. You can also dip it in Listerine to sterilize it, the same way you would sanitize your toothbrush. And you can use a toothbrush. Some toothbrushes actually have a tongue scraper on the back, or you can just take your toothbrush and brush the stuff off of your tongue. If you have an electric toothbrush, you can also use that on your tongue as long as it doesn't tickle and it doesn't gag yourself. Again, you're going to use whatever tool works for you. And this toothbrush actually has a tongue scraper on the back. So I'm not going to do that for too long because some people are grossed out by looking at your tongue. But your tongue, like your mouth, is a window into what's going on in the rest of your body. So it's something that you need to look at. A normal healthy tongue is nice and pink and doesn't have any bumps on it. Although some people have what's called geographic tongue. There are spots on their tongue that move around. So I'm just going to show you some different pictures of things that can be happening in your mouth and just kind of look and see if you've got this going on in your mouth. You can also, like everything else, Google it and compare what you've got going on in your mouth, or you can see your dentist and ask. If you have little burning tongue or sores on the sides of your mouth, that can be a vitamin B deficiency. There's something known as black hairy tongue. There's thrush. There's something called lichen planus. There's not much you can do about lichen planus, but sometimes it causes some burning as well. I had 8 miscarriages before having my daughter, and I finally ended up seeing a homeopathic doctor. The first thing he does is look at my tongue to see what color it is, and he can judge what is going on in my body by how my tongue looks. So I know it's hard to believe that your tongue can tell so much about you, but it can. Just like your mouth and your gums can tell the story of maybe what's going on systemically in your body. So don't take this stuff for granted. Your mouth is really important. And in a world where we're really health conscious, there's not enough conversation about our mouth, and we don't spend enough time cleaning our mouth. When I've been doing all this and surveying people and talk to people, what I'm finding out is that most people spend less than a minute taking care of their mouth. Yet our mouth can tell us so much about our body, and we put things in our mouth all day long, every day. We have to eat to survive. So what we put in our mouth and what we put in our bodies is really important to our overall health and our longevity. But we need to start really thinking about our mouth and thinking differently about how we care for our mouth. And one of my goals, especially with this challenge, is to get people to start not only thinking about their health, but their oral health, and start maybe just thinking a little bit different, having a different mindset, and start looking at your tongue, at your gums. Go to the dentist and make sure what your numbers are. That is something that we'll do in a later video, or you can see on another one of my YouTube videos. It's not something that I discuss in this particular challenge, but it is something that's important to your overall health. You should know what your numbers are. So I do have a video on YouTube that says know your numbers, and that's something that you might want to check out. Your tongue and your mouth are a window into your body, so don't take it for granted. Spend a lot more time caring for your teeth. We spend more time taking a shower, brushing our hair, eating, and all of that stuff than we actually take taking care of our mouth, when our mouth is so important. But a lot of people don't know that. So it's been helpful. Please share it. Most people know that brushing your tongue can prevent bad breath, but it also can tell a lot about what's going on in your body. There's the color of your tongue, there's the color of the coating on your tongue, and there's fissures and cracks and things on your tongue that can tell you what's happening. A lot of times your doctor will say, stick out your tongue and say, this is the reason. And if your tongue is pink, it's usually normal. If it's yellow, it means that you have something happening with your liver or your stomach. If you have a coating on your tongue that is white, it could be fungus or an alcohol. Sometimes the whitening in your tongue can be if someone has been smoking a lot and it dries out your mouth. Dry mouth can give you cracked fissures on your tongue. So you can see there are all different things that can happen in medical conditions that your tongue can tell you what is going on in your mouth and what is going on in your body. So if you're concerned about your tongue, you can see your doctor and seek medical advice. So if you think something is abnormal about your tongue, you can see your dentist or your doctor and get it checked out, because it's not 100% accurate of what's going on in your tongue. It could be that you ate foods and it stained your tongue. So just make sure that if you do have any concerns, seek medical advice before you freak out. Different things that can happen in your mouth with your tongue. So definitely make sure that you're looking at your tongue and brushing your tongue. And if you have any other questions, feel free to comment below or comment in the Facebook group.